Hey, how's it going? Welcome to Titanic. I'm Board Badger and I'm guest hosting this video.
While most of us don't partake in hazardous activities on the daily, there are those that do, and it might amaze you what people do for a rush. Check out this list we've put together for you to get your slight surge of adrenaline that will come from watching this video in your mundane office or typical comfortable house while these people are out chasing thrills. Here begins our list of crazy, dangerous, extreme activities. Number 13. Yak Skiing. This thing, hilarious, so I figured we should start off this thing with a bang. So yak skiing is an exciting activity and involves a yak at the top of a snowy hill and a skier at the bottom, both of which are attached together by a rope, and that rope is looped around a tree to create a sort of pulley system. Then the skier at the bottom of the hill wants to tie him or herself to the other end of the rope until they receive a signal from the top. Then they shake a bucket of pony nuts seen in this picture, which entices the yak to run downhill as fast as yakly possible, while meanwhile launching the skier uphill. Like what? The best advice given to remember is to tie yourself to the other end of the rope before you shake the bucket. Otherwise, you might be meeting up with a charging half-ton disgruntled yak in a matter of seconds. Number 12. Heli Skiing in Alaska. So what do you do when you need to ski or snowboard somewhere, but there are no chairlifts or any other reasonable ways to get there? You get a helicopter to take you there so you can ski. There are multiple companies that offer heli skiing trips and excursions, and they offer skiing on various mountains and cater to different skill levels. Anybody else a little wary of getting dropped on a mountain out of a helicopter in the Alaskan wilderness on an avalanche-prone mountain? Sheesh! In 2012, a man named Nick Dodov, who was on a heli ski trip with ski guide Rob Lieberman, got caught up in an avalanche and didn't make it out alive. Number 11. Ski in the Alps. If you're on the extreme side and you love to ski, then you should seriously consider trying out your skills on the slopes of the Alps. The Alps not only draws skiers like bugs to light, but all sorts of other extreme sports enthusiasts as well, including paragliders, ice and rock climbers, base jumpers, and speed flyers. Skiing these intense and intimidating mountains can result in severe injury or even death. Hundreds of people perish in the European Alps every year, and it's kind of a play at your own risk sort of thing. It's dangerous, and that's all you need to know. Unless you're gonna do it, then you need to know a lot more. Number 10. Volcano Boarding. In Nicaragua, you can go to Cerro Negro, or Black Hill, which is an active volcano located near Leon, and you can volcano board if you dare. You first have to climb up where you'll start your boarding adventure, 2,388 feet worth of loose black rocks. If it's windy, the board strapped to your back catch the wind like sails, and you have to be careful not to go flying. Then comes boarding. You can sit or stand on the board, although sitting is recommended as your center of gravity is lower and farther back on the board and you can get more speed. Remember, you're doing this on sharp, penny-sized volcanic rocks, and it's recommended that you wear protective gear. This sounds and looks pretty dangerous, and I'm sure many have gotten a pretty new scar here. Number 9. Bungee Jumping. I'm going to guess that we've all heard of this, and I don't need to explain, right? Well, we all know how dangerous bungee jumping can be. We've heard of cord snapping or being too long, pictured people smacking into rocks in a river or falling away into a gorge. Did you know that in Australia you were able to bungee jump over crocodile-infested waters? For fun? Oh, thanks. In 2012, a woman named Erin Langworthy's cord did actually snap, and she was eaten. Nah, just kidding. Erin, seen on her jump here, swam her way to shore, legs still tied together. But still, she could have been eaten. And this just reinforces why I'm probably never gonna do this. Dangerous? Yeah. Number 8. Slacklining. I'm not just talking about putting the slackline up between two trees in your backyard and playing on it with your little brother. I'm talking extreme slacklining. By the way, if you don't know what a slackline is, it's kind of like a tightrope, but made of different material, is flat, and is tied significantly looser than a tightrope. You can bounce and perform tricks on a slackline, or put them in places not necessarily meant for them. Hence the danger. Yeah, right, I'm not walking between giant cliff-surrounded rock faces. Maybe after a little bit of practice, in my backyard with my brother. Number 7. Skydiving in the Himalayas. Did you know that you can't skydive as you see in this picture whenever you want in the Himalayas? Because they have a crazy all over the place weather? Every November though, when the weather clears up and when it's not too cold for skydiving, a trip is put on for those who wish to claim the right to say that they've skydived in the Himalayas. The weather in the area is sort of all over the place due to the mountains and different elevations, or sides of the same mountain could have multiple different types of weather. You can imagine how dangerous that is for the divers. You also have to have a mask providing O2 for you because the conditions get so extreme way up there that you couldn't really breathe without one. Pretty neat. Number 6, air kick. So I didn't even know this thing existed until I started looking up all this dangerous stuff. But here's the air kick, which works pretty much like the blob, but without the need for someone else to launch you. Plus, you get a consistent launch as it's mechanized. The air kick is powered by water and air, as you can see in this picture, and throws you 26 feet into the air into your choice of landing zone. I'd recommend water or a foam pit, of course. The thing has a pre-calculated trajectory, so if you're using a foam pit, at least you'll know where to place it. Yes, there are obvious dangers that come with this thing, but mainly it looks like a fun time. Number 5, wing walking. Wing walkers are crazy, and the concept of wing walking itself is just pretty intense. Imagine walking out onto the wings of an airplane. Yeah, you're tethered, but that doesn't mean mistakes don't happen. When you're standing on the wing of an airplane traveling over 200 miles per hour, there's a lot that can go wrong, and a lot that can harm you. From the plane crashing to getting hit by a speeding bird that hits you going more than twice as fast as a fastball, to things like merely falling off or pilot error could all cause some serious harm. Anyone thinking about trying it? I bet the views are phenomenal from up there. Number 4, another bungee jump. This one is a high one. Macau Tower in China holds a Guinness World Record for highest commercial bungee jump in the entire world. Where you jump from is 764 feet in the air and you are attached to a specialized bungee cord and system designed by A.J. Hackett, the founder of the jump and pictured here, and his team, and they called it the second generation bungee cord. People actually commit to diving off the 764 foot in the air platform and plunge until they slow down just around 100 feet above the ground and lower you down, as pictured here. That's 664 feet of free fall. Yeah, this has to be dangerous. Anything that has to do with heights and people jumping from them has a danger factor, but this looks like a blast. Maybe I could commit to it. But hey, if this is your thing, this looks like the ultimate thrill. Number 3, base jump KL Tower in Malaysia. Now this looks intense. We all know that base jumping is dangerous. I mean, you're literally jumping off of buildings and cliffs into caves and stuff only wearing a parachute. Crazy stuff. Anyway, KL Tower in Malaysia is an extremely popular base jumping location, as you can see in this picture. And the city even holds an event called the KL Tower International Jump, which has taken place since the year 2000. Base jumpers from all over the world flock to take part in the jumping festivities pictured here. But they must have at least 100 previous jumps and a bare minimum of 2 years experience to participate. There were more than 30 base jumping fatalities in 2016 alone, and it can be seriously dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. Yeah, not for me, not this one, nope. Number 2, train surfing. What you see in this picture is kind of like a big what the fudge. These kids are climbing onto, holding onto, hanging off of, and doing whatever they want on the trains. Seriously, kids are getting on top of trains and filming themselves, as you can see in this picture, narrowly missing getting hit by poles and signs and all sorts of stuff. Other videos and photos show them running alongside the rocky ground while holding onto the locomotive like in the picture you see here, probably going 60 miles per hour. So crazy! Why are you doing this? Probably for the adrenaline rush. It's gonna be just like this next dangerous activity on this list. On to number 1, doing anything involving height and Russians. So maybe you've seen some of the videos of people climbing super high towers and cranes and stuff with no equipment. Or perhaps you've seen those who climb buildings and do stunts on ledges, or do parkour over super high drops, or take gut-clenching selfies. You know exactly what I'm talking about. There are those who do stunts up in high places, like Alexander Chernikov pictured here, a 23-year-old who lit himself on fire and jumped from a roof of a 9-story apartment building. Or those selfie takers I mentioned, like Angela Nicolau pictured here, a Russian art student with a tendency to go to really high places and do crazy things. She takes cool photos and probably the world's coolest selfies, and it's all in the name of, well, art? Fun? Both? Then there are roofers, like Kirill Zelensky seen here, a photographer who has climbed almost all of the tall buildings in Moscow, and the authorities let him do it as long as the roofers kept himself out of politics. And he's been offered jobs hanging banners across buildings, but turned them down. The stuff like what you see in this picture is really dangerous, so don't try this at home, kids.
Hey, you made it! Thanks for watching the whole video. If you enjoyed, drop a like, show some support, and stop by Board Badger for videos just like this one. See you guys!